Welcome to another live edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline in the BPTV studios in Bethel Park. Thank you for watching our show. We appreciate you. I'm Al Levine, the Talking Machine, Smoking Jim Frazier, Chip Hayner, and Nick Callis.
What do you mean? You mean the newly coiffed Al Levine, the Talking Machine?
Yeah, I got
a aerodynamical today.
Thank you. For all you fans of my haircut, the last haircut I got, and Smoking Jim, we don't know if he has hair, but I had a haircut July 13th, and Marianne gave me one of the best cuts that you talked about. July 13th, I got it. So 3 months ago, I had my haircut. This may last me till next year, thanks to Marianne. And thanks to the owner, Emilio. I met him today, and then Lisa, the receptionist and back office girl, she was in the picture last time, and Rick Steigerwald said, "What are you always taking pictures with pretty girls and you get your hair cut every week?" So we put Lisa in the picture again so I could get great feedback like Smoking Jim does with beautiful women. So that's what I posted up there. So that's the new haircut, new do, and we're ready to get into this. Thanks for watching us on Comcast 7, only in Bethel Park. Thanks for watching us on Verizon 32 in Bethel Park and all the way from Nemacolin, Cranberry, Wexford, and all points in between in greater Pittsburgh. So thank you for that. Thanks for the Facebook likes. We hit a new high, 6,933.
Yeah.
So thanks for all the new likes on the page. We're trying to get up to that 7,000. And we're going to celebrate our 10-year anniversary. I'm so proud and honored to have an award-winning show like Pittsburgh Sportsline. Since 2012, I've won Producer of the Month, Producer of the Year awards. I don't know about this year. It's been a tough year, but I've won awards every year since then. Our 10-year anniversary is October 11th, 2011. I ordered a Bethel Park cake. You have to do it online or by the phone at least 3 days ahead of time. Unlike Smoking Jim, I did it yesterday. So we'll have it in a week. And it says, Happy 10th Anniversary, Pittsburgh Sportsline. So it'll be on the show next week. And I'm so proud and honored. Thank all of you for watching the show, whether it's 10 or 1,000 or a couple thousand. I appreciate it all the time. We try to do our best. And my theme is to have fun and information. And then we have our opinions, and you all know how we have our own opinions. We disagree like most families, but we can give you a great show every week, and we'll start it off here. Thank you for watching us on Facebook Live. We appreciate that.
Is it a marble cake?
No, I got to disappoint you, Chip. Bring your own scoop of chocolate because it's white batter.
Ooh,
I'm fine with that.
Yeah. It's one of my favorites, and these two like it too, Chip, so you're outnumbered on it.
Yeah.
I'll tell them to give me a scoop of some chocolate batter.
I'm like Rodney Dangerfield. I get no respect.
Hey, I appreciate you, Chip, and thanks for your segments on the Pirates and trivia and many other subjects you think we don't worry about or concerned, but I love trivia just like you do, and you've been doing a great job, and we know if we need to talk Pirates, who to go to.
Oh, yeah. We got some Pirate talk this week.
I understand. That's a little tease for all of you. Don't leave. And welcome aboard, everybody watching us. First up, we're sponsored by Olive Oil's Pizzeria. For the first time since we've been getting pizza, they were closed because of the times and people not working. They had a shutdown last week, so no XL pepperoni pizza, no steak hoagie. So this week, Frank said hello. He said he gave me a hug for 10 years because I said thanks for sponsoring us. His son Fabrizio was there. Nice kid that was Olive Oil's Pizzeria in Brookline. He was a kid at the counter looking in on our show the one time. Nice young kid. Now he's 16 years old, so he's he's taller than his dad. But they have great Italian food, desserts. They even have salads, because I heard Smoking Jim say to Chip that he got a salad from Pasta 2.
I don't believe him.
So we will find out. He carried in his paper bag. He was holding it with both hands, because you know how he walks. We don't know why he walks like he does, but he was holding it tightly. And just call him 412-831-1900, Hillcrest Shopping Center. You can't miss him. Next up, we end each show with Stay Joey Strong. And both of our interns are now volunteers. Ryan and A2, they graduated from their school today.
Congratulations, young
So
man.
they're celebrating without us. But they will be back next week, not just for the cake, but they volunteered to be volunteers like the rest of us here, till as long as they can learn more from Dave Cable and help out at the studio. So they're two great young men, and I appreciate them.
Where they graduate from? Dubai?
It's hard to explain to you each week.
Graduation in October?
No, Smoking Jim, you graduated from high school with a degree and not going to school. Cal State, you got 8 degrees, and you didn't go to school. So
Studying generals.
yes, General So was one of the bigger ones. And it's all chicken.
Have you ever heard of an October graduation? I'm just wondering.
Smoking Jim for years.
My cousin graduated in February from Dubai.
Can you spell it?
No.
Okay. Then he didn't graduate. These guys are legit. Smoking Jim, for the last year, I don't know whether it's COVID or something happened to him, but he's been so negative.
I'm just asking.
But he keeps saying he's asking because he's negative.
No, he isn't.
No? That's what I'm talking about. It's contagious. All right. Stay Joey Strong. Check out the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation. Poor Joey died at 8 years old, just before his 9th birthday. 6 years ago, the family raised over $100,000 to give to Dr. Gary, who I met at Children's Hospital. They're working on finding some type of cure that may be around in the next couple years or sooner. So I'm even looking to talk to him again, because it was just fascinating, the research and things that we do in Pittsburgh. We take it for granted, but I'm living proof of it. Kidney transplant 2 years ago, Starzl Montefiore, healthy as could be, knock on wood. And I just don't eat like Smoking Jim. I'll just share that. All right. Next up, Bethel Park Historical Society, 2600 South Park Road, the Schoolhouse Arts and History Center. They even call it a museum now, because they've been working with the Heinz History Center, and they have a lot of museum quality things. They had their open house on this past Sunday, so check out the tape and the video. We filmed all kind of B-roll. Aaron Ward came back, a blast from the past, one of our best camera persons here. She said to say to Smoking Jim, her business partner was glad she could help Alan Levine, the talking machine. That's the quote from her. And I said, you know, he has a lot of business partners. She goes, yeah, but I was the first.
That's right.
So we got that clarified. And it was great at the Schoolhouse Arts and History Center. Talked to Bill Habather, great interview there. Andy Amrine, Jono, who did the painting. Listen to this. He did a 32-foot painting, 8 sections, 4 feet wide, of the steel mills from Southside back when they were booming, and you should see it. It's just impressive. Check out that video. It was just posted up. And his wife is a great artist, Maria. She paints rooms, houses, all kinds of artwork. She's just amazing. And she had a sloth painting at the library a couple years ago. They had a great opening for that. And she goes, Al, you can take any piece of art you want. I said, could I have the sloth? She goes, really? I go, I love that painting. She goes, here it is. So I got a free sloth and a great interview. And that's what happened at the Bethel Park Historical Society. So check them out. Always Be Smiling. It's named after a young man who had 2 kidney transplants, died at 16 and a half this summer. His name was Bennett. He was always smiling. His dad, Dean, gave him a great kidney, and he still passed away with other complications. They started Always Be Smiling, and I want to thank some of the people for liking the page. Please like this page, because they help other kidney transplant families and people that need kidneys. They help them out. Kristen is a very nice mother who suffered the loss of 2 of her children, just like Dean did. The first one died of kidney disease in a month. Didn't even live a month with kidney disease, so it's terrible. And they do help others out. Check out Always Be Smiling. Please like their page. I think we have it up to 764 likes, and it was in the mid 600s, so keep it up. Thank you. Next up, a local business, Senior Helpers, is at 100 Broughton Road. You can see it right here on the sheet. The 3223. Give Jeff a call, the owner. Met with him a couple times, had some great conversations. That's one of my newest friends in Bethel Park. You can't miss Broughton Road. It's right across from where Walgreens is, and it's heading towards Century 3 out that way. So they're right here in that new building that was remodeled there, and they do great things with seniors, provide all kind of care, the whole list. They got a ton of different things that they do with people, and they have great people that work there. And as we all get older, we may need help at home. I may send them out to Smoking Jim's house. I'll pay for the first hour. Then we have good news with Kathleen Miller. She's at 16% kidney function. When she gets to 15%, she has a donor, and we don't know who it is yet. They haven't told us, but somebody donated the kidney, and they're accepted for it, and they'll be able to provide a kidney for her to keep her alive. And it's just great news there, and glad we could help, and we wish her well. Have a good night, Kathleen. She watches the show, and she still goes, "What's the story with Smoking Jim Frazier?" But we still don't know.
He's the most well-fed sports talk host in the city.
Ever.
He's got a tapeworm that's got an insatiable appetite.
Well, I've seen pictures when he's younger, and anybody that watched the show, I'm not bringing the race card out, but there was a show called Urkel, and if you see Urkel, that's what Smoking Jim looked like before he became a power lifter. So check it out, and that's my BFF, and we can talk like that because he calls me Machine, and I sometimes call him Urkel. So we're good with that. Sorry to digress. Bethel Park Community Foundation has grant money for you. Any group or organization doing great things in Bethel Park, we can help you. I'm a trustee on the board, from $100 to $5,000, even more. We just gave $10,000 to the Bethel Park Historical Society for their auditorium, and it has a plaque saying that the Bethel Park Community Foundation donated money. It's a brand new room where the open house had their meeting with probably a couple hundred people there. It's just a great room that was remodeled in this 1905 schoolhouse. So they just gave money there, and other groups in the city, from Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, Lions Club that has baseball fields and a facility to rent out in the summer. So check it out, bpcf.org. You can get your money there. All right, we got the good sheet from Anthony. I want you for BPTV. Tell them Uncle Al wants you to be a volunteer like Anthony in the control room, like Nick in front of the camera, behind the camera, working for KDKA radio. So he graduated with a degree from Waynesburg, despite what Smoking Jim says.
Not from the Art Institute.
Yes, yes. Even though he's known to make posters, and he actually tries to make Smoking Jim look better than he is. So what a feat that is. This kid got some talent. He should have went to the Art Institute, as Smoking Jim said. But we want you for BPTV. You could be on location when we do shows like the Bethel Park Historical Society's open house, other things around town here with Andy and others. And 412-831-3304. Give them a call. And if you're in high school, this can help you get into college, even get into technical schools like Anthony A1, A2, and Ryan, and others that have been here. Even Steve, who's now MVP and graduating from Point Park at the end of this year. Smoking Jim, he'll have a couple degrees, a couple. And by the way, Smoking Jim, I talked to Steve. He said to say hello, and he goes, he's not working on taxes. He wants to quash that rumor. Next up, we're not going to challenge Anthony in the control room. I'll just read off the card. Skeets Service Station, owned by Skeets Lewandowski. They're at 6103 Library Road, red, white, and blue station, no gas pumps. They work on anything and everything that runs on gas. And they're nice every Monday. They have a smorgasbord. Smoking Jim will eat there. He eats the pig feet, you know, collard greens and other stuff like that. And then once in a while he eats something sweet like a Bethel Bakery donuts.
I eat the raccoons too.
No, the raccoons. We don't want to get into that, but Smoking Jim was amazed that they had 2 raccoons. And then they broke out of jail when they got older, and they left. They haven't been back in over a year. So I don't know what Smoking Jim did, but he enjoyed trying to go near them. He didn't pet them because of their teeth. He did see the teeth they had. But give them a call, 724-348-4715. That's Skeets Lewandowski sponsors What's on Your Mind. And speaking of that, Smoking Jim Frazier, what's on your mind?
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green,
Here's the pitch.
you got to see Levine.
That was a curveball. Did you see how it went to the left?
Yeah, that did like juju.
No.
What do you mean, Juju?
Wow.
No,
Curve move
not
like
like Juju.
Not like
Juju
Juju.
can't even catch a cold.
But let me ask my man, the MVP of BPTV, a question. When you graduated, was it in May?
Yeah.
I wish Ryan in A2 would have told me I'd have took a day off work on a Tuesday to go watch him graduate. Come on.
I'm just letting it go.
I gotta interrupt for the MVP.
This is
tell-
April Fool's.
This is
Day.
like
That's
the-
October.
Smoking Jim, you get obsessed on the craziest things, so this is no disclaimer. But Nick, just explain the school like for the last time, because next time we're just going to tell you can't even talk about this.
Pittsburgh Technical College, PTC.
Tell them where
You
it's
just-
located. Do you know where it's located?
The city somewhere?
No, outside
No,
of the city.
I don't know where it's.
Oakdale, VA.
But it's a technical college, Smoking Jim. It's a technical college. They don't follow the same, you know.
That means the
criteria.
You ever heard of what is it called, the liberal arts? It's not a liberal arts school, so they don't go through
People
the.
gonna go to graduation on a Tuesday.
Hold it, Smoking Jim, I got a question to you. How do you go to football games on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday?
But they're at night, not during work hours.
I played Saturday football at
What
Keystone
about
Oaks.
that Steelers-Ravens game last year on Wednesday afternoon?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
football, but I guess so. That
Now,
was a
do you
once in a-
understand?
That was a once in a lifetime thing. Not every October 1st.
Do you understand?
It's not even.
It isn't October 1st. That was my sister Hope's birthday, so.
Oh, it's October. Today's the 5th. Okay. All right, that makes more sense.
How does it make more sense? Nick, I want to thank you for providing facts to nonsense.
Well, I had to butter Nick up. Because he accused me of giving him all the long bios to read.
He did. Yeah. That's,
Hold it. Disclaimer.
no.
Disclaimer. There's no doubt about it that Smoking Jim is prejudiced about certain things. And what he doesn't know, he puts out there. So they were too long.
I took.
Here's what I'll tell you. A 3-page bio, when you have 30 women that are all beautiful and 90% of them were on my show. And did I emphasize 90% were on my show? What is a 1-page bio, single typed, compared to 3-page, triple spaced, and misspelled words?
You know how I found out? The only reason I found out is because I took all the bios to get their spellings correct because I made them all graphics in our video.
Right.
That's the only way I found out. I'm like, wait, these are all Smoking Jims, and they're all just like nice 8 sentences. But mine have staples. They're collated.
You know what his excuse is? Here's what his excuse is without him even telling me. But Nick has a nice voice.
He's the voice. They call him
But
the
here's
voice.
the question I want to answer. Who's not getting into the City League Hall of Fame this year?
Well, you know Curtis Martin ain't getting in. you know, Big Cat Williams and Russell Friedman not getting in.
Ah, no.
Because they beat up my boys from Gateway after Gateway blew them out one year, so they're banded for life. Luther Dupree never getting in, too negative about the City League Hall of Fame. So there's quite a few. The list is growing. The shot heard around the world, Dwight Clay will never get in. But anyhow, but this is on.
Thanks, Chip.
This is what's on my mind, real quick. Al Levine, the talking machine, and Chip, and you may want to take notes and rewatch the show. VIP of BPTV. I know this is before your time, but if I didn't know better, I would say the Pittsburgh Steelers are trying to throw the season to get the first pick overall. The Pittsburgh Steelers might win 2 games if Cleveland don't need the victory the last game of the season and sit down their starters. This reminds me of 1968 when the Pittsburgh Steelers was the worst team in football along with the Philadelphia Eagles, and they tried to get O.J. Simpson, and they played to a tie because neither of them was trying to win a doggone football game, and it backstabbed both of them because Buffalo, the AFL, ended up getting them, and the Steelers had to settle for a guy named Joe Green. But
Didn't that change our history?
huh?
Didn't that change our history?
Well,
I became
OJ
a fan.
OJ would have changed our history too.
I don't know.
I don't know about that. The Steel Curtain probably would have been born because me and Joe Green was
Well,
big.
Yeah, Chuck Noll would have figured out a way.
How can you say that?
But
You were there. How can you say that?
But all I can say, and I'll wrap it up like this, Al Levine, the talking machine. I said before the season that the amount of players that's on any side of the football in any position is the offensive line. I said this was the worst offensive line I ever seen. I said it was the worst offensive line coach I ever seen. Chip made a good point before we even started the show today. He says Big Ben, who's a first ballot Hall of Famer, just threw 400 touchdown passes. He's getting annihilated. We don't have a backup quarterback on my team. And I know Chuck Noll wouldn't throw a season. I know that Bill Cowher wouldn't throw a season. I know that Dick Haley wouldn't throw the season.
Even when he was 5-11.
I know Tom Donahoe wouldn't throw a season, but I don't trust Bill Cowher, Kevin Colbert, and Art Rooney the second. I think that they would throw the season.
You don't trust Bill
Did I say
Cowher?
Mike Tomlin?
You forgot Tomlin.
Yeah, I met Tomlin. Who did I say?
You said
Bill
Cowher.
Cowher.
No, I trust him. No, Mike Tomlin. Yeah.
You said you didn't.
Yeah. Edit that out the tape.
Hold
Hey,
it.
I got.
Disclaimer,
No.
that's the first time he was honest
No.
about Bill Cowher.
No.
I got a.
Freudian slip.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
If they're trying to throw the season, why beat a team like Buffalo? Such a
Well,
notorious.
and if you go back to 1969, they did win the first game of the season, 16-13, against the Detroit Lions, and then lost all the rest. And that's what they're doing now, losing all the rest. And that's what's on my mind.
Thank you, Smoking Jim. We'll move on. Chip Hayner, what's on your mind?
Well, thank you, everybody, and good evening. And what's on my mind? Wild card baseball's on my mind. We've got the greatest rivalry in baseball, the Red Sox and the Yankees, going off tonight at 8:08. First pitch. Tomorrow night, another 2 of the most successful teams in baseball history, Los Angeles Dodgers and the St. Louis Cardinals. Only 2 teams will make it out of there to the playoffs. And that means that there's going to be 2 teams that have won over 90 games and potentially one that has won over 100 games this year could be sitting and watching the playoffs at home. So interesting baseball to be played the next 2 nights. But to kind of give a statistical wrap-up to the season, something that I talked about all year.
Yes.
The Major League batting average dropped to 244 this season, its lowest since the year of the pitcher in 1968.
Wow.
Though offense picked up markedly after baseball's mid-season crackdown on grip-enhancing substances for pitchers. In other words, they cracked down on the cheaters. Major League's stricter enforcement had the desired impact, ending a run of 12 consecutive full seasons in which strikeouts had set records annually. While there were 42,145 strikeouts,
Wow.
a slight decrease from the 42,823 in 2019. Hits declined from 42,039 hits to 39,481 as computer-aided defensive shifts proliferated. The big league batting average was 271 in 1999 at the height of the steroids era, when there were 45,327 hits.
Wow. Great stats.
As for attendance, Major League Baseball drew 45.3 million this year as fans gradually were allowed to return, down from the 68.5 million in 2019. In the last season before the coronavirus pandemic, the Dodgers led the major leagues at 2.8 million. They did not start selling full capacity games until mid-June. Meanwhile, umpire Joe West has officially informed the baseball of his desire to retire.
All right.
Oh, man.
He don't even know who he is.
After the postseason, Joe West, 68 years old, broke the record for most games umpired, held by Bill Clem when he was behind the plate for number 5,376 in May.
Wow.
When he set the mark for most games umpired, Hall of Fame manager Tony La Russa called him the perfect guy to set the record because he represents what a lot of umpires should be.
Wow.
So that's just a quick
77-year-old
wrap-up on
LaRussa.
some of the lowlights of the season. I had talked about this earlier in the year, and before they got rid of the sticky stuff, the league-wide batting average was 238.
Wow.
So they were able to raise the batting average 6/100ths of a point
Yes.
over
see it.
the second half of the season. But the disparity between strikeouts and hits, the gap keeps growing wider, and I think that's hurting the game of baseball. I was watching a game at PNC Park on Saturday night, and the Pirates put 12 batters up that inning. They plated 6 runs, and not one ball was hit out of the ballpark. Some of the most exciting baseball I've seen. There was 2 triples hit in that inning, one by Defoe and one by Brian Reynolds.
Wow.
And in the last 2 Pirate games I saw this year, I watched Brian Reynolds hit 3 triples.
That's amazing.
And I think that is one of the most exciting plays in the game of baseball.
Thank you, Chip. If it's negative, we don't want to hear it, Smoke.
I'm gonna ask,
Go ahead, Jim.
as these older umpires are retiring, you think that'll open the door for computers?
I hope not.
And one other question: did any of you white guys go see the Rolling Stones?
I did 16 years ago.
I wish I would have went. I didn't know Mick Jagger was one of the
I saw him
Rolling Stones.
16 years ago, and he put on one of the greatest performances. He's now 78.
78.
So he was 62, and he was nonstop singing and dancing the whole time from one end of the stage
That's
to the other.
amazing.
Marianne, who cut my hair, was there last night.
Jennifer Rattay was there as well.
I know. She even posted some videos.
Wow, I wish I would have went. I never knew Mick Jagger was Rolling Stones. Always wanted to see him.
Smoking Jim, you've missed a lot of things because you like country.
That's my favorite.
And they actually wanted to do blues and jazz, and they followed Muddy Waters. And guys like Muddy Waters played till they died. So it looks like Keith Richards and Mick Jagger want to play till they die.
Didn't the drummer die?
Yeah, he just did. See, he had to go to something negative.
No, I was just making.
Always
I was
negative. This is the year of negativity, 2021.
I wasn't sure if I had the right band.
Well, just like we don't know what age officially Smoking Jim is, but he's been around for more than 10, 15 years, and almost everybody's heard of the Rolling Stones, and everybody's heard of Mick Jagger, except Smoking Jim.
I heard of Mick Jagger, but I didn't know he was part of a group, a band.
What did you think he did?
I just thought he was just the great Jagger.
All right, let's.
Oh dear.
Who are we even talking to? Chip, thank you very much for your information. I love the stats on that with the strikeouts being down about 700 compared to what they were the year before, and the hits still haven't come back like they should have.
And not even 40,000 hits.
I know. I was going to add this sarcastically. Should we do the wink wink and put everybody back on steroids like Barry Bonds where their head got 4 sizes too big?
No, but
Then
in
they
my
could put 'em in the Hall
trivia
of Fame.
segment, Alan, no, but in my trivia segment, I'm going to tell you something I found out last Wednesday night that I never knew about Roberto Clemente.
Wow, I can't wait.
Suspense.
Wow, what a tease.
I know everything about him.
Okay.
You didn't even know he was Puerto Rican.
Didn't you think he was from Canada or
He's
something?
black.
You still don't know he's Puerto
He
Rican.
thought he was
Black.
French.
Black.
Gosh.
Smoking Jim, we got to give you a little history, but, you know. All right, we're going to go to Nick.
Okay, well, if you watched this show a month ago, my predictions for the Major League Baseball playoffs were very, very wrong. I had the Mariners coming back to win the division and kill their playoff drought. That didn't happen. They didn't even make a wild card.
Hold it. I just interrupt. So you were wrong?
I was wrong.
I have to make this announcement.
So,
Chip has admitted he's wrong. I've admitted I've been wrong. Nick just admitted he's wrong. We only have one guy, mysteriously,
Who knows
loses
everything.
at gambling, but has never, ever uttered the words, I was wrong.
never wrong. Never gets any predictions wrong. Yeah, I said that. Oh, I had it. Don't you worry.
Thanks for letting me interrupt you.
Oh, yeah. And then I had the.
And I know you're friends with Smokey.
Oh yeah,
too.
we're good. I just,
Okay, just clarify that.
we're all right.
Because he's pausing to laugh a little
Yeah.
while he inhaled that pizza. I can't wait to see the salad come out.
But I had the Phillies going to the World Series, and they didn't even make the playoffs. And Joe Girardi still has his job. We were talking about that before the show,
Yes,
which
we
is kind of
did.
crazy because he's got all these assets, and they couldn't even make it. They could have won the division, but they didn't, and the Braves prevailed. And the Phillies lost 2 to the Pirates toward the end of their season, so the Pirates helped in making sure the Phillies
They
didn't
played
make
the
the playoffs this
spoiler
year.
role.
They did.
And Chip had mentioned how the Pirates actually had a winning record in the last month or two of the season.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
It was a Pirates baseball was kind of exciting. I had more optimism for them.
Well,
But,
Smoking Jim, you would have had it known because you were betting against them.
They've been killing me.
Okay. That confirms that you were wrong and Chip was right.
The Dodgers ended their 8 consecutive division
streak.
winning streak. The Giants won 107 games. The Dodgers won 106 games. No room for the Padres to make it this year. I thought they'd at least have a wild card. That didn't happen. The Cardinals went on a freaky long winning streak to end the season. The Cardinals just know how to win, and I doubted them this season. Now they're in there playing the Dodgers tomorrow night. But I'll be sitting watching the Yankees game because I'm a Yankees fan. I'll be watching it on the couch in the lounge when we're done
At
with the show.
BPTV
At BPTV.
studio.
And one more thing before I'm done. I'm on the Dwayne train. Get Ben out of there. I'm tired of watching Ben try to facilitate this offense still. I even think Mason Rudolph would be a better quarterback. Just something different to put in there with Matt Canada's offense than Ben. But Ben's just
I'm going to
he's
talk
done.
about Steelers next.
All right, then go ahead. I'm done there. That's what's on my mind.
That was a great segue. I appreciate you even more as a friend and a fellow co-host because you admitted you were wrong on
Yeah.
everything.
Terrible baseball predictions.
Don't lean back, machine. You're gonna lean back on
I'm
this
against
Steeler,
the wall.
on this Steeler background. Oh, you don't got the Steeler background this week.
Oh, that's enough of that.
Ain't much you
Yeah.
know.
All right, what's on my mind is Nick Callis cursed the Steelers when he put up the Steeler banner.
Oh, you beat me to it.
And Smoking Jim was alluding to that. That's why I was leaning back. I knew I could suck somebody in on it. And like I said for years on the show, we win one game, we're going to the Super Bowl. We lose a game, we're getting rid of coaches, players, Big Ben. We hate him. We got to get rid of him. We lose 3 games. I'm looking around everywhere, and we got to get rid of everybody that, even the ground crew. We got to get rid of them because they may have even caused trouble. People look for all this trouble. There's a couple points I want to make. How old is Big Ben? Did he get hit a lot in his NFL career? I remember he led the league in getting hits and sacks, I don't know, for about 10 years. And he's been in here close to 18 years. So how are you guys as you get older? Except for Smoking Jim, we don't know. You all get a little weaker. So to blame Ben and to say to get rid of Ben, I look behind the bench, and the Steelers and Art Rooney III didn't prepare like any scout, any good scout, including Smoking Jim, who's alluding to this. You always try to get a replacement before your quarterback is ready to go. Hence Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers and the guy they got up there that got them all upset that he won the MVP because he had to show them up. Well, we don't have those type of skills or players here now. And did any of you miss how bad the offensive line was last year? And you said it couldn't get worse? I rest my case. We'll talk about Steelers later. We'll be back with some fiction and fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. High diddle diddle. Chip up the middle for a double. Let me ask you this, Nick. Could you manage the Pittsburgh Pirates baseball team if
Nope.
you had to?
Nope.
If you had a year to
If I
prepare?
had to and I was getting paid to do the job, sure. I wouldn't do. I can't guarantee I'd be good at it, but
Okay. Okay.
And Smoking Jim, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
What's your point?
No, I was just wondering.
No, I just wanted to know your point on why you're putting it on poor Nick
No,
here.
I
He's a
agree with you.
22-year-old graduate of Waynesburg
And I
U,
believe
and
him.
you're
I
trying.
believe he could do it.
I just think
believe he
I
could
just
do
think
the job.
I just think Ben's old and the offense isn't suitable for him. It's not his fault.
Can I make? I've been doing some little research. Can I throw out a tidbit you guys may like? And this may be something to conclude with your Roberto Clemente.
I doubt it. But go ahead.
Polanco is with Buffalo, right? Now, Triple League, minor league, right? Now, let me say it.
I've never heard a better description of minor league baseball than Polanco's with Buffalo
let me say
minor
this.
A now.
Let me say this. Our good friend Claudio Wilsano said he could help him hit better. And I agree with Claudio. In Buffalo, he's batting .351 with 7 home runs with 77 at-bats. So look out for Polanco in the future. But I got 2 quick fiction and facts from Smoking Jim's Almanac. It'll be
can't
real
wait.
short.
2.
The
Okay.
original number 32 for the Pittsburgh Steelers, good friend of mine, Hubie Bryant. When Hubie Bryant played college football and ran track at the University of Minnesota, matter of fact, he went to a Rose Bowl because him, Ohio State, and Michigan tied with the same record. But since Minnesota hadn't gone to the Rose Bowl the longest, they ended up going and getting killed in the Rose Bowl. But he ran track. He was a track All-American. They're running against the NCAA championship 4 by 100 meter relay team that held the world record briefly, and he's running the 3rd leg against a guy that he said had Olympic speed if he concentrated on track, O.J. Simpson.
Okay.
He said he held his own with O.J., but O.J. handed the baton off to the future Olympic silver medalist sprinter that, end up setting the record.
Who was it?
Some guy from Africa, USC recruited in.
How'd
And
you
So
find
did
it?
OJ hand him the black gloves?
yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
boy.
But Hubie Bryant ran stride for stride. But here's the other short one.
Okay. That wasn't too short.
My good friend Tom Donahoe. I think the world of Tom.
Yes.
He hired me in 2000.
Until him and Coward disagreed,
Well-
then you went against them.
Well, he hired me in 2000 on a Sunday, got fired on a Monday. And then a few months later, the Steelers fired me. But anyhow,
Okay.
people don't know Tom Donahoe was one of the greatest athletes come out of southwestern Pennsylvania. He went to a high school, I believe, called South Hills Catholic that is now St. LaSalle.
Yeah.
They were so great
My dad was friends with him.
with South Hills Catholic?
No, with Tom Donahoe.
The priest? Oh, Tom, yeah.
And the priest.
Yeah, Bill Kyer wasn't. So
We
Tom
don't care
Donahoe-
about Bill.
But Tom Donahoe, what a great guy. I got along with him and Bill.
That's unbelievable.
So they had probably the greatest basketball team, if not one of the greatest basketball team in the state of Pennsylvania history. His senior year, they beat Duquesne twice. They're the only team to beat Duquesne that year. Duquesne had 2 losses with point guard Eddie Jeffries, and Tom Donahoe and them beat them. They ended up losing to Uniontown, who was phenomenal that year. But the best team.
What year was that?
But the best team they say, Al Levine, the talking machine of all time, was the Farrell team with Simi Hill. I know you know about that. Storm and Norman Van Leer,
My dad refereed some games.
Cornell Lake's uncle.
Yeah.
They played 2 games against Farrell. A private game, no fans, no referees, in a private location. And they split both games. A lot of people don't know that. That's a little Smokopedia. They split with the great Farrell. Hey, Tom Donahoe boxed out Simi Hill. But Tom Donahoe ended up going for football, ended up blowing out his Achilles his freshman year at St. Francis, ended up being a great high school football coach, and in my opinion, a great general manager. Just stubborn and hard-headed. Him and Bill Cowher going head-to-head, like the 2 Irish guys going head-to-head.
That's unusual.
And so that's what's on my little got double treat to fiction and fact.
Well,
From
Smoking Jim,
Jim's on. And you got a little Smokopedia.
I got a question for you. You always got questions. Mine isn't negative.
Yeah.
I just want to know where and when and how did you get this information on 2 short subjects that weren't that short?
Well, I've been sitting on them for years.
Oh, so
I
you
just
knew
let it
these.
hatch. I just let it hatch.
Now you know we've been doing this for 10 years.
Yeah.
Is that what you're going to call it?
I let it hatch.
Folks, again, I got a non-answer.
Yeah, don't think that was smoke-o-vision. That was smell-o-vision.
All right, thank you, Smoking Jim, Smokopedia, Frazier.
Polanco.
Look at that swing.
Polanco's left-handed.
Yeah.
Real quick, I want to get this wrapped up so we can move on to the other hosts we have here. Nick, what was Roberto Clemente's number?
21.
Alan, is that the number he wore his whole career?
As far as I know, I don't know what he did with the
what about
Dodgers.
Jim?
No, he
What do you
played
think?
He wore 13 before.
Yes,
He
he,
wore-
did. On April the 17th, 1955, Roberto Clemente made his major league debut. Roberto Clemente wore the number 13.
Nice.
The person that wore the number 21 was the Pirates center fielder, Earl Smith.
Whoa.
And Earl Smith retained the number 21 until he was traded from the team later on in April, which is when Roberto Clemente took over number 21 and wore that for the rest of his career, and it is now retired. I was not aware that Earl Smith had wore Clemente's number while Clemente played for the Pirates.
Wow.
Should have checked with me.
Wow.
Interesting little tidbit. But and
Thanks,
I'll
Smokey.
make
Books.
I'll make this quicker than my friend Jim. The season has been a little nuts. The Pirates did have 2 starters in the All-Star game. Let's not forget it.
Yes.
Amid all the wreckage this year, Brian Reynolds has shined. Entering Saturday's games, only 4 players had a higher mark of wins above replacement. Juan Soto, Bryce Harper, Trey Turner, and Fernando Tatis
Wow. What company?
Jr. So Jacob Stallings, another bright spot for the Pirates this year, should win the Gold Glove as a catcher this year.
You're kidding.
Even though JT Realmuto, who's the reigning Gold Glove winner, would probably win it on his reputation. Jacob Stallings didn't allow a pass ball all season.
No way. Wow.
Okay. As a team, the Pirates entered Saturday tied for the best fielding percentage in Major League Baseball. Last year, they were tied for worst.
Yeah.
They were also tied for the fewest errors at 69, a stat aided by the defensive 180 done by Kevin Newman. The Pirates' worst defender a season ago, Newman began the season with a National League record 76-game errorless streak and the best fielding percentage, .993, of any Major League shortstop.
Wow.
The turnaround Newman made with the Pirates' help obviously should be seen as encouraging, a sign players can always get better. But just a couple of interesting stats that I found there that, not all is forlorn and hopeless for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
All right.
I do think the Pirates do have a bright future. Pirate fans have to be patient. I was talking to Alan and Nick prior to going on the air tonight, and the Pirates are not going to contend for anything next year. But I do believe that the Pirates team will be a better team next year, and I think that they're going to be better on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
As long as they continue to focus on the basics like defense. These are the building blocks for a winning organization, and the Pirates are headed in the right direction.
Thank you,
I
Chip.
agree with Chip. The Pirates ain't going to win nothing next year. I agree with that, Chip.
Thank you, Chip Hayner.
I bet you now they'll win more than 61 games.
He's not taking. He
There
don't
you
bite.
go, 'cause
All right. Thanks, Chip.
Very important positions with me. All right, baseball opinion. Probably my last one for the year because the Pirates are out of the playoffs and football's a big deal. So Chip tagged me in a post a couple weeks ago that got my mind churning. It was a quote from Greg Maddux. It said, in a tough situation, I don't need to throw harder. I'd rather locate better. Meaning, we're talking about more important. It's better to locate. It's better to have better control.
Explain it to Smoking Jim.
Smoking Jim, when you pitch, you can throw hard, right, with velocity, like speed, or you can, like locate better, like throw a pitch in different parts of that electronic strike zone
Left,
you want, right?
lower, up, or down.
right.
I like that pitch I seen you throw.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I like that.
Show them some highlights of my. Anyway, not about me.
Okay.
But, no, so I was thinking about it. I'm like, is it better to locate? Is it better to throw harder? And I got some stats to get an opinion on which one is better. So, when Greg Maddux first started pitching, he struggled in his rookie years, which is expected, but he was throwing upwards of documented 93 miles per hour when he first started pitching. So he did throw hard. He wasn't consistently always throwing around 87, 88 miles per hour. He had some velocity. And toward the better parts of his career with the Cubs and the Braves, as he was throwing with that velocity and I assume locating well, his ERAs were consistently in the 2s, though he had a few seasons where they were within the 1s. So he's a really good pitcher. Up until around the end of his career, he started throwing around 86 miles per hour on average with his fastball, but his ERAs were north of 4, and there's a 5 in there toward the last 5-6 years of his career. So when we talk about velocity, is there a floor where the velocity's got to be at before we can sit here and say, no, maybe you need to throw harder? Because we remember earlier in the year, Williams' studio of the Twins position players on the mound throwing 47, and Yerman Mercedes went Yahtzee on him because there just wasn't a fast enough pitch, and Yerman Mercedes is a good hitter.
Yeah, but how many other people got a pitch of 47 or under 50 miles an hour and hit a home run?
Didn't Mercedes quit baseball?
Okay, yeah.
But there's
He
a
was
lot
being
of-
dramatic, but I bring up another pitcher.
Yeah.
I bring up another pitcher as well to kind of cite where my opinion's going. If you take a Aroldis Chapman, for example, not where he is now because he's been on a decline, though it seems like nobody wants to acknowledge that. He was throwing upwards of 103 miles per hour consistently in the prime of his career, so his fastball was getting to the plate in about 1.5 seconds, pretty fast. So, but you look at Aroldis Chapman's slider when he developed it. And it's not a great pitch, and it never really has been a great pitch. But why is Aroldis Chapman's slider effective? Why do hitters swing at it? Because they're also anticipating the 100+ mile per hour fastball that he has, so they have to react quickly to his slider because he could also throw a fastball right by him.
Well, tell
So-
them that a slider does look similar to
If
a
I may
Exactly, yeah.
interject, Nick, and the reason why his slider was such a good pitch, because to be a good, effective pitcher, you have to have a fastball. When you start throwing other pitches, especially a slider, if you're throwing it from the same arm slot as where you're throwing your fastball, now you have that 1.5 seconds to make a decision to swing or not. They don't know if you're throwing the fastball or the slider.
Exactly.
And that's where being a good pitcher, because if you have little tells, if when you're throwing your slider, your arm's dropping down like this instead of coming over like this when you throw your fastball, then you're giving a tell, and the batter will know what's coming. So it's a matter of mastering your skill. Necessarily velocity. A lot of times when guys throw harder, they throw with less control.
That's true, but Chapman had a lot less control. But yet, when he developed a slider, because he didn't have one, a very good one at the least when he came to Major League Baseball. Once he developed that pitch and at least got it to move, or he wanted it to, and kept that arm slot consistent, he's getting a lot of strikeouts with it. Even though it wasn't a great pitch, not the best slider ever, but because his fastball was so fast, it set up that slider to be a strikeout pitch or a swing and miss chase pitch. So here's the opinion. Is it velocity or is it control? My answer is it's both. You can have pitches with velocity that set up your slower pitches, but you have to have both. Greg Maddux was not an exception to that. He did not perform as well when he threw with a slower velocity. Position players don't really pitch because you can't get away with throwing 50 miles per hour in the major leagues. It's just not going to happen. But too much velocity without having that control could also lead to pitchers like Aroldis Chapman or Nolan Ryan earlier in his career, where we don't know where the ball's going. Walks are a big problem, and it's not good for pitching. So the answer is balance. Control with velocity makes major league pitching.
Hold it. What's your opinion on the eephus pitch?
Oh, I love it. I used to throw one. Smoking Jim, remember that pitch I showed you yesterday that went up and down?
Eephus?
That's an eephus pitch. I think I used to throw it when I was in college. It was my successful pitch. I threw it like once or twice an outing when I pitched because
Well, I
hitters
think
don't
Rip
expect that.
Soule pitched it, and Ted Williams hit one of them out of the ballpark.
Yeah, but if you
But
throw
not
it,
everybody hit them out of the ballpark. That's my point.
and that one pitcher from the Yankees and Alex Rodriguez, I don't know if you remember that 10,
Yeah,
20
I
years
forget.
ago, threw two in a row. You don't throw two in a row because then if a batter knows that you can throw that, then he'll wait for it. So don't throw it twice. That was silly.
Well,
But throwing it up in there every once in a while is a good idea. And you've seen some other.
yes,
I've seen
over
some
the
other
years.
pitchers in recent years just throw a 60-mile-per-hour pitch and it threw hitters
Right.
off. So once in a while is good, but
Well,
not like
I'll
consistently.
just share this insight. Being a pitcher and learning to pitch in Little League, I learned location was one of the keys, and I had a fastball that was pretty strong, but the location was so much better than the speed because kids would look at a catcher's mitt and swing where they saw the catcher's mitt.
But that's not a good idea.
They hit the ball
Oh well.
because they were quick enough. If you look back and glance,
I've never done that, but that's
I knew
interesting.
friends of mine perfected that.
But
So
it's-
I threw it inside.
There's got to be a balance.
I threw it
Yeah.
inside
Oh, you threw well.
so they couldn't hit.
Right.
But
Balance.
that's just my insight. Location and speed always kills, but you can catch up to speed if you're a good hitter. You can catch up to it. So that's my point. I'll take location first and take my chances. All right, thanks, Nick. We're going to be closing this out. Saturday night, USS Fight Academy. Check it out. 1712 North Lincoln Highway, North Versailles, 6 o'clock, fight night. So check it out. And we'll be there, Smoking Jim and I, and we'll be filming and announcing. So check it out. Let's talk a little Steeler talk at the end. Chip brought up a great point. Go ahead.
How about the 2021 Heisman Trophy winner, Kenny Pickett?
Whoa.
Kenny Pickett so far this year has 19 touchdowns and 1 interception.
He's really good.
He is lighting up college football. The last 2 games Pitt's played, they scored 129 points.
They're averaging 52 points a game.
Yeah, and Kenny Pickett is, and you know what? He's familiar with the training site down there. He's been there for 5 years. You know, and
What's the scouts say about it?
Well, I always like Kenny Pickett, you know what I mean? He's one of the few guys ever to play 6 years of college football. He's going to set a record that nobody will will get because he played a couple more years because of
Well, he's
COVID
going to beat
the year
Marino's
back.
records.
Yeah, because Marino only played 4 years, but he played 6. But
Thanks for being
you know,
positive about it.
Very athletic and making a lot of money this year. And
How's he making money this year?
because of his
Name, image, and likeness.
Name, image,
Okay.
and likeness.
Love that.
Yeah, good luck to Kenny. Yeah,
I wish you could have done it back in the day.
I'll tell you what.
Maybe
I
they
wish-
take that receiving core from the Pitt Panthers and put those on the steel.
Yeah, that's
Because after Sunday's game, Ben has looked completely awful the last 3 games. There's no question of a doubt. Anybody that can't see that's blind. But I was watching Juju Smith-Schuster this past week, and I looked at my wife and I said, you know what? He couldn't catch a cold right now. I mean, the 2 passes that were supposedly overthrown by Ben
Well, they were.
should have been caught by Juju. Absolutely. I was listening to a guy called in on the radio today, and he played wide receiver in college. He said the first pass, he mistimed his jump and he should have had it. And the second one, he flattened out his route instead of running the route the way it should have been. And had he run the
didn't
route
run
the
the
way
right
it
route.
was designed, that pass would have been right there.
There we go. We got some insights to end this show. Smoking Jim, thanks for not eating your salad on the show.
AB would have caught it.
Well, AB's doing well with Tom Brady, and you're right, he's still around.
And Tom Brady became the most sacked quarterback in NFL history
I didn't
this
know
past week.
I
I
didn't
didn't
Yeah.
know. Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
didn't know that.
Well, you played 22 years.
Well, thanks to all of you watching our show. Next week will be our 10-year anniversary show. I'm very proud to say we made it, and thanks to all of you for watching and liking our show. Please stay Joey strong.